They convicted Marcus Webb of murder in 2009. Then a retired evidence tech found a storage manifest from Bay County Forensic Laboratory dated 3 weeks before sentencing, and the fiber samples that placed Webb at the scene had been logged out to an analyst who, by the state's own payroll records, was on medical leave that entire month. The official story was clean. A woman named Diane Collett was found dead in her apartment on Mercer Street in February of 2008. Beaten. No signs of forced entry. No witnesses. Marcus Webb was her ex-boyfriend, and the prosecution pointed to a restraining order filed and then dropped 18 months before her death. They built their entire case on two things: a partial shoe print lifted from the hallway outside her door, and microscopic fiber evidence, 16 individual fibers, recovered from the front of her sweater, and matched by the lab to a gray wool jacket found hanging in Webb's closet. The jury deliberated 4 hours. He got life without parole. The case was closed, filed, and forgotten by the county within the calendar year. What the jury never saw was a 47-page internal document titled Quarterly Discrepancy Report, Bay County Forensic Lab, Q4 2007. It was not classified. It was not destroyed. It was sitting in a cardboard box in room 114 of the Bay County Evidence Annex, behind a door that required a senior administrator's keycard to open, and nobody ever subpoenaed it. A retired evidence technician named Carol Reyes found it during a routine facility inventory in 2021. The quarterly discrepancy report was supposed to be routine. Every accredited crime lab in the state is required to run internal audits each quarter, chain of custody checks, instrument calibration logs, analyst sign-off verification. Chain of custody means every hand that touched a piece of evidence, logged, dated, signed. What Reyes found inside that document was not routine. 14 cases handled between October 2007 and January 2008, the exact window covering Collett's murder investigation, had failed their chain of custody checks, not irregularities, failures, meaning evidence moved through that lab without a verifiable signature trail. Marcus Webb's case file was number 11 on the list. So why had no one outside that building ever seen this report? The discrepancy report was completed on January 31, 2008, 12 days before Diane Collett was murdered, and 14 months before Webb's trial began. Under state forensic lab protocol, a failed chain of custody audit triggers mandatory notification to the county prosecutor's office within 30 calendar days. There is a designated form for this. Form FL9, 1 page, requires the lab director's signature and a stamped date of transmission. The Bay County prosecutor's case file for State v. Webb runs to 412 pages. Form FL9 is not among them. It was never transmitted, but here is the detail that makes coincidence impossible. The storage manifest Carol Reyes found alongside that report, the one logging the fiber samples out to an analyst on medical leave, carried a second signature at the bottom, a supervisor's countersign, required by protocol for any evidence checkout tied to an active homicide case. That supervisor was a man named Gerald Pratt, Bay County Forensic Lab Director from 2004 through 2013. Pratt signed the manifest on March 3, 2009. That same month, Pratt also signed the official lab certification letter submitted to the court, the letter attesting that all physical evidence in State v. Webb had been handled in full compliance with chain of custody protocol. The same man certified the evidence clean to a judge while his own lab's internal audit said it had failed. He signed both documents. His name is on both pages. Pratt retired in 2013 with a commendation from the county. He never testified at Webb's trial. He was never deposed. The discrepancy report he had authored was never subpoenaed because no defense attorney knew the document existed. Marcus Webb has now been incarcerated for 15 years. His 2014 appeal was denied. His 2019 appeal cited the storage manifest as newly discovered evidence and was denied again. The court ruled it inadmissible on that basis because the document had technically always been accessible. It was in a county facility. Nobody looked. The fiber analysis that convicted Webb came from a lab that had documented its own chain of custody failures in writing 14 months before his trial opened. The director of that lab then personally certified to a court that no such failures existed. No charges have been filed against Gerald Pratt. No conviction has been vacated. The Bay County lab was reorganized in 2014. The Q4 2007 discrepancy report has since been formally acknowledged by the county as authentic. The fiber samples remain on record as valid evidence. And the question nobody has been able to answer, not the county, not the State Forensic Oversight Board, not the two appellate courts that reviewed Marcus Webb's case, is a simple one. If the chain of custody failed on 14 cases in that window, and only one of those cases has ever been publicly examined, what happened to the other 13?